Getting divorced can put you in a tough financial situation. You're no longer in a two-income household. No doubt you have a lot of questions about your financial future. Can you get by on just one income? You may need alimony just to survive. If you're the person paying alimony, can you afford to pay your bills and pay alimony to your ex as well? You still have to put a roof over your head and live your life. Having to pay alimony may be the last straw. Don't let someone take away what is rightfully yours. You need to stand up for yourself. If you need help, we'll work with you to protect your rights without costing you a fortune. Together, we'll get you all you deserve, as we have with so many other clients before. We'll help you get through this so you can move on from your divorce to a new and better life. Let's talk about alimony in Massachusetts. At Afford Law, we offer experienced legal help you can afford. Alimony is the financial support paid by one spouse to the other. Now, it's not available in every case. The paying spouse must have the ability to make those payments, and that usually means that one spouse earns a great deal more than the other. Long-term marriages are usually where we see alimony come up as an issue in divorces. The longer you're married, the more likely a judge is to order alimony in your case. How is alimony paid? Well, there are three basic ways to pay alimony. The first is a lump sum payment, where you pay one chunk of money at one particular time. The other is a property transfer. That's where you sign over something of value, perhaps your home or the equity in your home, to your spouse as a payment for alimony. The third is periodic monthly payments, and that's the most common way that alimony is ordered. When deciding about alimony, the judge considers several factors, including the length of the marriage, the age and health of each spouse's income, each spouse's employment and employability, including whether additional training is necessary for a spouse to become employed, each spouse's economic and non-economic contributions to the marriage, the couple's lifestyle and standard of living when married, and any economic opportunities either spouse lost as a result of the marriage. Typically, this is when one spouse stays home to raise the children instead of pursuing career advancement or perhaps additional educational training. Before we talk about how much alimony will be and how long it will be paid for, I just wanted to let you know that if you're considering getting divorced in Massachusetts, please feel free to visit us at affordlaw.org/checklist. We've made a checklist of the 7 most important things you should be considering before filing for divorce. How much will alimony be? There's no set formula that a judge follows when setting the amount of alimony. It's at the discretion of the judge. However, alimony is not to exceed the recipient's needs or 30 to 35% of the difference between the parties' gross incomes. There are 4 basic types of alimony in Massachusetts. The first of which is general term alimony. That's the monthly payment of support to a spouse who needs it to survive. The second type of alimony is rehabilitative alimony. That's support that's paid monthly to an ex-spouse who is expected to be able to support themselves by a certain time in the future. It helps get them back on their feet financially. The third type of alimony is reimbursement alimony. That's where support is paid either monthly or at one time after a marriage of no more than 5 years. The idea is to make up for the costs that the receiving spouse paid to help the paying spouse, such as enabling that spouse to complete an education or job training. The last type of alimony is transitional alimony. That's where support is paid monthly or one time for a marriage, again, of no more than 5 years. It's to help the receiving spouse settle into a new lifestyle or location as a result of the divorce. General term alimony is the most common. How long it is paid depends on how long you were married. For marriages of 5 years or less, alimony cannot be required for more than 50% of the time you were married. For example, if you were married for 5 years, that's 60 months. Alimony could only be ordered for up to 30 months. For marriages of 5 to 10 years, alimony cannot be more than 60% of the time you were married. 10 to 15-year-long marriages, no more than 70% of the time you were married. Marriages lasting from 15 to 20 years, alimony cannot be more than 80% of the time you were married. Marriages of more than 20 years, the court can order alimony for as long as the judge thinks is fair. In addition to these time frames, alimony can also be stopped if one of 3 things happens. Number 1, either spouse dies. The spouse receiving alimony gets remarried or lives with a partner for at least 3 months. The spouse paying the alimony reaches full retirement age, unless the judge orders something different. Alimony can be extended as well. In order for the judge to extend alimony, he or she must first find that a material change of circumstances after your alimony was ordered has taken place, and number 2, that the reasons for the extension are supported by clear and convincing evidence. A common reason for extending alimony is if the receiving spouse becomes ill or disabled. What should you do if you can't afford to pay your alimony? If you can't afford your alimony as ordered, you must ask the court to change the order. You cannot simply stop paying. You're obligated to pay the full amount unless the court changes that amount. If you suffered some sort of financial setback, you need to file a motion to modify your order as soon as possible. You'll have to show a material change in circumstances before a judge will even consider changing the order. Some common changes in circumstances include the loss of your job, perhaps a decrease in the hours at work, or illness. If your ex isn't paying alimony as ordered, you need to file a motion for contempt of court. Now, in order to be successful on this motion, you must show that there is a valid court order in place and that your ex has the ability to pay but is refusing to do so. If the judge finds your ex is willfully not paying, they have a number of options to make them pay, including attaching their wages, intercepting tax refunds, suspending their driver's license, or incarceration, where they're actually put into jail until they can pay their alimony as ordered. Alimony is a major issue in some divorces. It can have a huge impact on your financial future. You want to make sure you get the right representation at a price you can afford. For more information on Massachusetts divorces, please feel free to see our next video.